Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to lesson 9 of the Learning with Shades series. In this episode, we are going to talk about candle patterns. The price tells you the story, not you trying to tell the price what to do. So as you can see, there are some images that you can download in the description below. Download those. Bullish reversal candlestick patterns and the bearish reversal candlestick patterns. We're going to go over these. These are important to recognize in the market so that you don't get caught with your pants down holding a bag at a potential top. Also, on the other side of that, it gives you the opportunity to buy cheap when you see these kinds of patterns after a downtrend. For example, let's just show you an example real quick here. Log into Moomoo. You should be on Moomoo. And if we look at the monthly chart, you will see, let me pull up the S&P 500. What do you see here? Look at that. Ooh-wee, as Mr. Poopy Butthole would say. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Do you see this? Look at that. Ooh, does that look similar? Look at that. Look at that. Because it's not the end of the month yet. That's a monthly candle, by the way. I just want to clarify, this is a monthly chart, monthly candle. In that month, we dropped as low as 481, as marked by Moomoo. Moomoo marks it for you. And what happened? Buyers showed up and pushed it all the way to 551 from a low of 481. That is strength if I've ever seen it. That's a $50 plus move. Sellers tried to push it lower and failed. That is a sign of strength from buyers. When you see a big stick like this sticking out of the body's candle, this is the body's candle. The body's candle? I just screwed that up. The candle's body. The candle's body's candle. That doesn't make sense. The candle's body. This is the candle body. This is the long stick, wick, whatever you want to call it. They all have these, big body, small stick. Big stick, small body. And you would have noticed, man, it really has a hard time. It really has a hard time coming up higher, above 611. And you would have noticed on this candle here, wow, what a sign of weakness. This is the opposite of this one, right? Look at that. Big stick with a very small body. And what followed from that? A big body red candle, very tiny stick, and we just tanked, obviously, as you can see here. But now the opposite is happening, right? Now it's the opposite. Now buyers are showing up with a big stick. When buyers have the big stick and there's a very small body, you're in for a good time. There's a potential reversal here. This is why I've been bullish and why I announced that I bought Nvidia stock, $50,000, about $50,000 worth, a little over $50,000 worth. Because it's time to be bullish when you see these kinds of candles. Keep in mind, this is the monthly chart. So that's a perfect example of a hammer. And this is the hanging man shooting star. The shooting star is, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just to be clear, before I even get into it, it doesn't have to be perfect, right? The market isn't going to be perfect. It's not going to show you these perfect candles, right? This shooting star, small body with a big stick on top, right? But it's never going to come out like that. There will be times, yes, but do not look for candles that are exactly as it is on these charts, these images that I have in the description below for you to download. It's not going to be exact, but if it's close enough, you'll start to recognize these and you'll be like, oh, okay, that looks like a hammer. It's not perfect, but it looks like one. Oh, that's an inverted hammer. It looks like one. You'll start recognizing these patterns. Same thing with recognizing chart patterns. You just got to get in there and start going through charts and recognizing let's see what kind of candle is this. Ooh, look at that. What is that right here? So we reached a high of 448. What happened in the next candle? You would expect buyers to show up, but they didn't. Instead, we got a nice little stick here and a small body. But guess what? What happened after? When you see a big, again, remember, when you see a big stick like that, and buyers failed to push it higher, and it closes on a red candle, usually indication that we're going to go lower. Look at that, hanging man. Price gets pushed up higher and fails to go higher and then gets pushed down lower. That's called the hanging man. Again, it's not perfect, right? It's not exactly like in the image, right? But, almost close enough, right? Look at that. Look at that. You would have seen this candle right here. You would have recognized, like, whoa, that's a hanging man. I don't know why it has to be a man. It could be hanging woman, hanging monkey, hanging cat. It doesn't matter. The point is, you would have seen this, and just on that candle alone, you would have known, like, ooh, let's just sit back and relax because we're probably going down lower. And the best part is, the next candle was a big red candle with a very tiny stick at the bottom and a super tiny one up here. Again, these are monthly candles. So you would go to your images here and you'd see, like, what does this mean? Well, guess what? Bearish belt hold, I guess. I don't know who names these, honestly. I didn't name them. But one thing's for sure, a big red candle like this, not a good thing, because that means what? It means buyers aren't. Where are they? They're not showing up. When you see a big red candle like this, big body candle with very small sticks, even more so after this, hanging man, hanging woman, whatever you want to call it, that would be like that's your signal. Like, that's your, like, ooh, let's stay away. I guess I'm staying away from the markets another month. And then here you would have seen a very bullish reversal. So look at this candle. You see the difference between these? Like, as it goes down lower, this is super bearish, very bearish. And then wait a minute. Buyers are showing up. And you know how I know? On that third candle, how do I know that buyers are showing up? The body is smaller and you got sticks sticking out on both sides, and some pretty decently long sticks compared to the previous one. So that tells you, like, hey, buyers are starting to show up. Now, they showed up because they pushed it from 401 to 428, but sellers still managed to overwhelm them and bring it down to 410. Because remember, you read red candles from top to bottom, and the close is at the bottom here of that body. But the fact that buyers showed up and pushed it up this far, penetrated that far up, especially into the previous candle, that would tell you, like, hey, like, there's some buyers are showing up here. And here, but that's not the signal. The real signal comes after. Look at that big green candle. What do you see? Look at that. Look at that month. Ooh, where are sellers? You see that tiny little stick on both sides? You can barely see it. Those little sticks means buyers just destroyed sellers here. Complete destruction. That one, these two candles combined is what's called where is it? Oh no, that's the bearish one. The bullish engulfing. That's the bullish engulfing right there. When the price is coming down with a big candle, big red candle like this, again, doesn't have to be exact. And then there's a big green candle with little sticks on each side or on one side. It doesn't matter. It's bullish because it's just, some people call it the God candle. You can call it whatever you want. Bullish engulfing, God candle, whatever. Fire starter. You could call it whatever you want because people just make things up. I'll just call it the fire starter. I don't care. It doesn't matter. The point is, this big green candle here, you would have seen this and you would have known, like, oh, this is a reversal here. It's now it's time to jump in, because not only were there no sellers to keep us. Look at this. This is as bullish engulfing as it gets. So you would have looked at this and you would have been like, wait a minute, I see something here. Ooh, bullish engulfing, and you would have bought in. And guess what? The price just surged, and you would have made money. So this is more, I would call this like micro analysis, when you're really just analyzing the candles individually one by one and trying to figure out, like, okay, based off of this candle, what is this telling me? And then you look at the surrounding candles and try to figure out, like, what is the price trying to tell you? Again, you don't try to tell the price to move. Too many people try to do that. No. The candles tell you the story. Remember that. So, you know what's so bullish about this is, where are the sellers? There's no big sticks on either side because sellers, they're nowhere to be found. Buyers showed up with so much strength that they were able to overtake all the selling pressure from these two candles alone. Look at that. Look at that. In 2 candles, in 2 months, in 1 month of buying, we knocked out all the sellers here. We took them over. Look at that. What took 2 months, we did it in 1 month. Because I'm a buyer. I don't really short sell or anything like that. I only go long. I only buy. So this big green candle, you would have seen it. You would have seen this 2 candle pattern, because that's what it is. It's a 2 candle pattern. Sometimes there's 3 candle patterns, 1 candle pattern, sometimes 4 candle patterns. Again, you just got to go one by one and start to recognize like the patterns by practicing. That's just how, I don't know how else to put it. Some people think that they're just gonna know. No. You gotta. It's just like anything. You gotta put in the work. For example, if I want to be really good at Street Fighter 6, well, I gotta click on here, log in, and I have to play ranked and get my ass beat to get to the point where I'm actually good enough to compete at the tournaments, the 50K tournaments, the $1 million tournaments. Like that's just how it is. You got to put in the work. So don't expect to recognize these patterns immediately like I can. And don't expect to do my level of analysis if you're a beginner, right? That just makes sense. Like if me and you played Street Fighter and you've never played Street Fighter, I'm going to destroy you because I know everything. I know how to delay. I know how to keep you in the corner. Like I know, like I have my intuition is so good that I know like, oh, I know what you're thinking right now, and you're gonna try to get out of the corner by jumping, and you're just gonna lose like half your health. Because I'm ready for it. Because you just get so much practice in that it's kind of just automatic. It's like boxing, because I used to be a boxer too. It's automatic. Like you get to the point, yes, you flinch when someone throws punches at you, but that kind of gets beaten out of you. That's just how it is. Like in boxing, you just got to get your ass beat to get good. That's just how it is. A lot of people have egos and they never show up again. They show up thinking they're hot, and then they get their ass beat by someone that actually knows how to box, and they never show up because they had too much ego. The ones that are humble, they show up again, and they're okay with getting their ass beat because they don't want to get their ass beat again, but they understand they got to get their ass beat to get good. That's just how it is. You're not going to be moving like Mayweather or Pacquiao. You're not going to be dodging, flipping, and whatever. You're not going to be slipping, ducking under. It's not automatic right away. It'll become automatic with enough practice. You do so much sparring, it's just automatic. Like, they throw this punch, I move this way, and now that I'm in this position, I can throw my right hook, but they also know that, so they're getting ready to block, and then like you start playing the I'm gonna counter your counter game, and then you get to higher levels, and yeah. And nobody wants to make mistakes, so they kind of just move around each other, just peppering each other with jabs, trying to find opportunities, openings, and getting a feel for the timing of the opponent, the speed. That's why at the professional level, you see boxers kind of feel each other out, because nobody wants to make a mistake because they know how dangerous the other person is. So all of that comes with experience and time and practice. You got to start somewhere. So I just want to say that, like, you're not going to be able to look at this. I saw this and immediately knew what was going on. You shouldn't, unless I guess you're watching this and you're already experienced. Then at that point, why are you watching? But this is what you got to do. Just go through every day, wake up in the morning, do your technical analysis, and just start practicing. Oh, where's support? Oh, there's support right here, and that's where buyers showed up. And where's resistance? Well, we had a hard time getting above this, so we were in a training range, and okay, and then what happened? Oh, look, there was a trend here, and then what happened? Oh, we tanked here, but why did we tank? What happened? What kind of patterns emerged? Oh, whoa, it was this hanging woman, man, whatever you want to call it. It showed up right here and would have been your signal to like, hey, not time to go long, just sit back and relax, and you would have been correct. And you can just continue literally on any chart. You don't have to use the SPY. You can go to NVIDIA, Netflix, whatever stock you want to analyze. Just go through and start identifying these candles, trends, support, resistance, everything that you've learned up until now. It's been building up. It's been building up. You're learning technical analysis as we speak. But you got to get those rounds in, so to speak. You got to wake up every morning and, thankfully you don't got to do no running at 6 a.m. You don't got to do no jump roping for an hour and hitting the bag and then going to the gym to spar. You don't got to do none of that. You just got to sit there on your ass and you just look at candles. Woohoo. Congratulations. You don't got to get punched in the head. By the way, brain damage is real. It does hurt. Imagine a bruise, but in your brain, and then like the back of your head just throbs like crazy for like 2 weeks. I probably should have gone to the hospital, but I just took a ton of Tylenol, like a lot of it, probably an unsafe amount. But I was young, whatever. You can recover real quick. But it's real. You don't got to deal with that. You shouldn't be getting brain damage analyzing candles is what I'm trying to say. This is too easy. But yeah, here look at this. What do you see? Let's just go over it. I mean, you gotta practice. It's just, I can't do anything else for you other than tell you, hey, here are the patterns. Download this and start recognizing them. Go through and be like, if you have multiple screens, even better, because then you can be like, oh, okay, I see this was a sign of weakness here, because green candles, then there's a red candle, and that looks like that's that looks kind of like a inverted hammer. Oh wait, no, not inverted hammer. Shooting star, my bad. That looks like a shooting star. The price is going up, and there's a shooting star here. Like, it's not one for one perfect. Like I said, don't look for perfect candles like what's drawn here. So you would have seen this inverted hammer, and you would have known time to be careful here, because the price is coming up and it failed to go higher. Sellers are showing up and pushed it down and closed on a red candle. Looks like an inverted hammer. Let's be careful here, because we might start coming down lower. And you would have been correct. That was followed by a very bearish red candle here. Big body. Buyers did try, but failed. So that's bearish, because we're at a top at this point. And you would have recognized, like, yeah, buyers just can't do anything here. Sellers are in complete control. And then you would have noticed on that next candle, like, whoa. Buyers, look at buyers showed up again. Whoa, it looks almost similar to this one back here. This one is super bullish right here, but it looks similar, right? Look at that big wick here. And even though it's a red candle, again, it's not the end of the month, it's the 27th, so we might even close green, which would be incredible. Either way, that's a very powerful signal. But here you would have seen the same thing, like, man, there's a big stick here, very big stick. Sellers really pushed it down, but buyers showed up with strength despite the big body candle here. The fact that there's this long, big stick down here, the fact that there's a big stick like this, that tells you that buyers are showing up. Remember, big stick, it means someone's showing up. It's buyers or sellers. So if the price is coming down and you see a big stick, you know that buyers are starting to show up. And the opposite obviously would be, let me see if I can find one here real quick. Yeah, I mean, well, no, this is sideways action, but you can see a very clear top here. Look at that. Yeah, so sideways action kind of sucks, because you can't tell much from that. Let me see if I can find a big stick. Maybe I have to look at something else. Let me see if I can find a big stick somewhere. Oh, that's a lot of big sticks. A lot of buyers. Look at that. Buyers showing up everywhere. Where's Riot? Okay, so maybe this, so let me see. Maybe I need to go, why am I looking at the monthly? Let's go to the weekly. Maybe the weekly we can find something. I'm trying to show you like a very obvious pattern, because we want to go for obvious. If you can't tell what's going on based off of the candles, that's kind of when you want to just, you know what, let me go to another chart. Because you want to trade what looks closest to the patterns that you have here on your images that you downloaded. You want to trade whatever's giving you the most obvious patterns. That's kind of what we do in the Discord. We look for obvious patterns that we can abuse. Why make things difficult for ourselves, right? Might as well go with what's obvious. Same thing here. Here's a big, price is going up. There's a big stick right here. You see that big stick? Ooh. Now, because the price is going up and you're seeing a big stick, you know that sellers are starting to show up and we might reverse. And guess what? You would have been right. Look at that. Oof. We dropped from a high of 66 to a low of 26. So that's like a perfect example. Like even here, stick, big stick here, sticking out, more sticks up here. When you see a bunch of sticks after, going green like this, it's usually a sign like, better watch out, because we might come down lower. Like here's a great example of a big stick, and guess what? Buyers still managed to show up and overwhelm sellers. Despite sellers trying, they tried to really push it lower. Buyers still showed up. So it's not like guaranteed, right? If it was guaranteed, if we knew, hey, here's this pattern, it's guaranteed to go down. No. Nothing's guaranteed. Buyers can still show up. Remember, there's catalyst, there's earnings. Maybe here, yes, it looks weak here because look at that big stick right there. Even this big stick, you would have been like, ooh, sellers are starting to show up right now. Sellers are still showing up. Now the candle body is smaller and sellers are really starting to push us, right? They're really trying, like as we move along higher and higher in this trend, you would notice like it's kind of, the trend's getting weaker and sellers are starting to really show up. And then it reversed. But this candle, seeing it is not a guarantee, right? It's not a guarantee, as I just showed you. You can see big sticks, you can see the pattern, and it still might not play out because maybe they had earnings or something that could have sent it higher. So don't forget that. Don't forget candles aren't everything. They do tell you the story. But don't forget, there's catalysts, there's earnings, there's news, PRs, headlines, there's Trump and his administration, and then they do something, say something, tweet something, and it causes what? The market to react, and it might cause the stock, despite showing you this pattern, it might actually surge higher. So don't forget that there are outside forces that can move the stock and invalidate the price action, despite what it's telling you. So here I just immediately I recognized right here the bearish engulfing, right? Big green candle, and then big red candle that completely took out all the buying pressure here. That one is a bearish engulfing, right? Where is it? There it is. The price is coming up. Big green candle followed by a big red candle that just takes out all the buyers here. And then it goes lower, which it did. But again, it's not guaranteed. Remember, there are outside forces that can move the market. And despite what the story is from the candles, it doesn't matter if, if someone says something or does something or tweets something, or if the NVIDIA CEO says, hey, quantum computing is still far away, and then it tanks 50% for those of you who know what I'm talking about. So again, nothing is certain, but it's good to know these fundamentals. Regardless, if you are watching these videos, you're going to end up using my strategies, and my strategies don't really care about price action. Like they kind of don't. Like they only care in the sense that where is the 200 WMA? Oh, there it is. Okay, where's the price? It's under it. Oh, I buy. That's it. You don't even need to learn how to read candles. Like you can just, where is the price relative to the 200? Oh, it's under it. It's a buy. Woo! That's it. That's it. So you'll realize as we move along that my strategies don't even require you to know candles. Like I develop my strategies so it's as simple as possible for anyone. Where is purple line? There it is. I buy when it goes near it and under it. Woo! And then it runs huge and rinse and repeat. The cycles rinse. Look, oh, it's under it, and then then it surges, and then it comes back under it. Then ooh-wee, as Mr. Poopy Butthole would say, it surges to highs again. Wow, it's almost like it's a pattern we can abuse, and all we need is a damn purple line. You don't even need to know all of this candle bullshit. You don't. I'm just teaching you in case you want to learn, and having these fundamentals down. It'll help, but once you start getting into the strategy section, you'll realize like, oh, it's good to know these fundamentals, right? And recognizing these bearish chart patterns, right? There's a very obvious pennant flag, whatever you want to call it, and it's a bearish one. And yeah, you would have noticed this, and we'd have been like, wow, it's about to come down lower, and it's about to come to the 200. Woo, right? I'm just gonna sit back and wait so I can buy real cheap, and then when it runs big back to 20 plus, I'll make a lot of money. Okay, that's my rant for candles and price action. You really don't need to know this stuff, but it helps. It's good to have those fundamentals under your belt, because you might not like my strategies. You might be like, man, I don't like this guy's strategies. They require you to wait months for it to come down nice and cheap, and then months for it to go up so you can make the 50 to 100%. Screw that. I want to make 10% every day or whatever. And then so you might take the fundamentals and then go, you might become a pattern trader and be like, okay, so here's the pattern. And let's pretend that you see the pattern here. You're seeing it bounce around here. You would have been like, if this is going to be a pennant or a flag, then maybe we should buy the next time it touches this trend line the third time. So 1, 2, here we would buy, and then it did go up in your favor. Ooh, it went from 14 to 16. You could have made $2 a share, and then it came down here, and you would have been like, it's at the end of the pattern, so it's getting tighter, right? And maybe I'll just stay away just to be safe. But if you wanted to, you could have jumped in and you could have flipped it real quick before. Hopefully, you didn't get caught here, because I know a girl who was a pattern trader, and she would make money here, and even here, and then she would buy and just get destroyed here. So she'd give back all her gains on these drops. And I told her, I'm like, you just need to stop trading the end of patterns. Like the pattern at the end is going to play out. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, so you would expect it to dump, and it did. Yeah, that's just how it is. Everyone sees it. It's going to happen. and she got trapped here, basically. So she makes money here and here, and then gets destroyed here, and just gives it all back, and sometimes then some. So again, you can learn these candlestick patterns. It helps having these strong fundamentals, but ultimately, how I trade is just based off of a purple line and a white line and yellow line crossing over on the weekly, daily, monthly, etc. So you'll see what I mean when we get there. But for the time being, practice, practice, practice. Just start looking at candlestick patterns like, where's the top? Like at this point, you kind of know basic technical analysis. Like if we just go to a random chart, maybe not that one. Let's go to a random. I'm just trying to find something that's a little more obvious. Like just find something that's showing very obvious patterns. Let's see if I can. Man. Okay, look. Let's look at this one. Okay, where's the top and where's the bottom? Let's go to the weekly. Where's the... Oh, that's a very obvious top right there. Don't be afraid to go to higher time frames. Okay, so there's the top, and where's the bottom? Whoa, buyer showed up at the 200 WMA on the weekly. Surprise, surprise. Interesting. It's almost like all you need is a purple line to make money. Who needs to know price action and candlesticks? But seriously, though, you would notice there's your top, there's your bottom. Okay, what's next? What's next? What's the trend? Okay, the trend is obviously to the downside, and we're getting out of it. Barely poking out of this trend, but it's looking good because look at that big green candle. Big green candle. Big green candle. And remember, what does that mean? It means we're going to go higher because where are the sellers? They're nowhere to be found. And here's the best part. You see this red candle? What was it followed by? A big green candle that completely took out all those sellers. And you would go check your chart and you're like, let me see, what does that mean? A bullish engulfing. Big red candle, green candle, huge green candle that just takes out one of these sellers here. And you would have seen this and been like, wow, it's almost like it's looking really bullish, right? You know, buyers showed up at the 200, pushed it up higher. Sellers showed up at 561. We're in a downtrend, and we're getting ready to break out of it, out of that downtrend, which can mean and signal a reversal into a bull market or a sideways market. Depends on what happens. Again, you got to take into account outside forces like the Trump administration saying something and the market reacts by selling off, or any other catastrophic event that could send things tanking and reversing that are just unexpected despite what the candles are telling you. Again, it tells you the story, but doesn't mean it's going to happen. You got to still consider the market-wide forces that could send things higher or lower. So right now, you would look at this and you'd recognize like, okay, it's looking like we might, reverse into at least a sideways. We're breaking out here, maybe sideways, or maybe we go straight into a V-shaped, downtrend and straight into an uptrend, right? That's happened before. Here's an example: downtrend straight into an uptrend, no sideways action necessary. So, in fact, you would start to recognize right now, like, we kind of just, after a bear market, we always just go straight into, there's no sideways action. We go straight into a bull market, and you'd start recognizing this pattern all over the place. And you'd be like, well, if history is going to repeat itself like it has in the past, then we would expect a V-shaped recovery. It doesn't have to be, again, perfect V-shape, it doesn't have to be like this, but you get what I'm saying? Like, you start doing your analysis and you start looking back in the past and you're like, man, it looks kind of like we're just going to zoom straight to 561. I mean, it's the weekly candles, so it's going to take a couple weeks or months, I should say. But either way, you would recognize these patterns just from doing basic technical analysis, which is you should have these skills at this point because you have been learning trend lines, you've been learning chart patterns, you've been learning support and resistance, and really that's all you need combined with the candle patterns that I've been showing you and recognizing what the story is being told by the candles and the chart itself. All right, I think that's it for the video. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I'm missing here. I don't think. Let's go to the daily here real quick. I'm just trying to think. I know. I think that pretty much does it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I feel like there is something missing, but I think I already went over it. No, I think I already went over support. So here's support. Here's resistance here. And just based off of this right here, so you know where the top and the bottom are. Based off of what's happened in the past, what happened? Big stick and we drop lower. Big stick, we drop lower. What's going on here? Oh my God, looks like we're in a trading range. You know where the support and the resistance is. You know where the top and the bottom is. You know to buy down here, not up here like a sucker. And what would you say is going to happen? Because we don't know what's going to happen, right? But I mean, based on historical movement, what would we expect here? Especially seeing that big green stick. And you could even cross-reference and be like, okay, it's at the price is moving up. So why is there a stick there? It's not a perfect shooting star or a hanging man, but I mean, it's not looking good because last time we had big sticks like this, we went lower. You would expect for the price to, you would expect the price to do what? To come down lower. Is it going to happen? We'll see. But that's what you would expect based on the previous patterns. And just like that, we did our analysis real quick on something that I don't really talk about the stock often, but there's your obvious support, obvious resistance, buy down here, not up here, and you would expect it to absolutely tank. And then you buy down here so you can make money abusing the sideways range, the trading pattern that you see very clearly here. Smart ones are just going to buy down here. Dumb ones are going to chase up here thinking it's going to go higher, and they'll just get destroyed. That's just how it is. Anyways, yeah, I think this pretty much, like, look at ALLR, and just study this one. This one's pretty good for studying because it has, like look, there's your support, there's your resistance. It has these candles at the top where you would expect sellers to show up, right, at resistance. You have these big sticks. I mean, it just tells you right away, like, we're probably going to come down. And then on the other side, you see big sticks down here at support, and then you know, like, oh yeah, buyers are showing up. And then you would see this bullish engulfing, and you'd be like, oh yeah, we're going higher. And that's exactly what happened. Anyways, you just got to practice.